this video, we're going to talk about some things you can do in the countryside, as well as some fun things to do in the countryside. Whether you live in the countryside or are maybe visiting the countryside, I'm going to talk about some things that you can do in the countryside, as well as something to be aware of when doing the things. So let's get into it. But before I get into it, I just want to say that some of the things that I may be talking about are based on what I've learned when doing things in the countryside. So the first one is archery. So what I mean by archery is that in the countryside there are places you can go to where they do archery, which is like getting an arrow and putting it onto a bow and firing the arrow at the target. As when you get the arrow and pull it with the bow, it can be quite hard to pull it back when you're holding the bow before you can release the arrow when it hits the target. Some places in rural areas do archery where they have a course that you can go to. And the second one is kayaking or canoeing. In the countryside you can go canoeing or kayaking in a lake, as some people in the countryside go canoeing down a lake, as there are some places in rural areas we can go canoeing, as there is a sign telling you where you can go canoeing, depending on where you go canoeing or kayaking. Next is hiking. So if you live in the countryside, you may know that you are surrounded by fells, as there are fells in the countryside which people go up during the summer or before it gets really hot. You may need to take water and food with you, as when you go up fells it can be hard on the way up, but dangerous in terms of how you come down, as when you go up fells there is less air, as there is less air in the atmosphere. When you go up a fell it gets colder as you get higher up the fell. You might want to be careful when you're going up a fell in terms of how you get up and get down. And another one is gill scrambling. So if you live in the countryside, you may know that there are a lot of lakes in the countryside, in terms of how there are streams in the countryside, as you can go to a lake and go gill scrambling where you put a wetsuit on and go up a river or lake. Sometimes going up a river it can be quite risky in terms of how rivers can be cold. And now we're going to talk about some fun things they can do in terms of skimming rocks or making a walkie-talkie, which is two cups tied together with some rope, which allows you to communicate with each other by pulling on the string that holds the cups together. And in terms of skimming rocks on water, all you just have to do is get a rock and throw it on its side at the water and it should skim on the water. Flat rocks are best at skimming, as flat rocks that have been in the water for a very long time, in terms of how some rocks have been in the water for a very long time and then start to go smooth, as I did learn from Mike Rober about throwing the rock at the best angle to get more skims when it travels on the water. And if you have any questions on what I should talk about on this channel, leave them in the comment section below and drop a like if you found this helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and follow me on social media to stay connected, linked below. Click on the video on the screen, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next video.